Witam from BA. This is a Rorshok Poland update from the 4th of July 2024. A quick summary of what's going down in Poland. Let's start off with political updates. On Friday the 28th, the tension between the government and the main opposition, Law and Justice, increased after the parliament lifted the immunity for Michał Woś, a Law and Justice MP. The parliament accepted the request of the National Prosecutor's Office after the allegations that Michał Woś, who was the Deputy Minister of the Justice Ministry in 2017, used the ministry's Justice Fund to buy Pegasus spyware for the Polish Anti-Corruption Bureau. The Justice Fund was meant for wrongfully convicted prisoners. Jarosław Kaczyński, the leader of the Law and Justice Party, said that the government keeps politically repressing his party, saying that the executive's moves are against democracy. Next up, the Third Way coalition, made up of Poland 2050 and the Polish People's Party, faced a blow after they received only 7% of votes in the last European parliamentary election in June, compared to the 14% success in the local elections in April. On Friday the 28th, the Third Way said they would maintain the coalition despite the rumors about it breaking apart. In their meeting, they chose Szymon Hołownia, the Speaker of the Parliament, as their candidate for the 2025 presidential elections. However, Hołownia announced that he hadn't accepted the candidacy yet, but that he would make his final decision in autumn. People also expect the Third Way to hold discussions with the Civic Platform, its ruling coalition partner, to put up the same presidential candidate. While the coalition members stay loyal, some of the opposition MPs plan to leave the party. On Friday the 28th, Jan Krzysztof Ardanowski, a Law and Justice MP, said he would create a different group in the parliament. He said that Jarosław Sachajko, an MP from the conservative Kukiz 15 party, will also join him. Ardanowski added that the ruling coalition ruined Poland because more and more companies leave the country every day due to low profits and the lack of workforce. These companies then start more profitable businesses abroad. For him, conservative people need a new political grouping to increase their voices in the parliament. Law and Justice is concerned that Ardanowski might establish a new party and some MPs from Law and Justice might join them. More about disagreements within the party. On Thursday the 28th, Paulina Matysiak, a member of the National Council of the Razem party and an MP from the Left Party, published a video on Twitter with Marcin Horala, a member of the conservative Law and Justice Party, that led to the Razem party to bring disciplinary proceedings against her. In the video, Matysiak and Horala said that despite the difference in their political views, they support initiatives that will develop the country's security, such as investments in the army and nuclear power plants. The two MPs with totally different political views wanted to show cooperation and solidarity for the country's development. However, the Razem party said this video was against the party's policies and that they didn't want to collaborate with the Law and Justice Party. For instance, unlike Law and Justice, the Razem party does not support nuclear plants as they are harmful to nature. Now the party might expel Matysiak in the next few days after the proceedings end. Since we mentioned the army, on Thursday the 27th, the country established the Agency for Geospatial Reconnaissance and Satellite Services, or Argus, to manage the Polish military's presence in space. The army will launch the first Polish military satellite into orbit next year. Cezary Tomczyk, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of National Defense, said that the satellites are important for managing the army, especially during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. More about space, as on Wednesday the 4th, the Polish Space Agency announced that a Polish rocket reached space using a new eco-friendly fuel. The Łukasiewicz Institute of Aviation developed a fuel that contains 95% hydrogen peroxide an entirely natural chemical. The Polish Space Agency partially financed the project, intended to show that environmentally friendly transportation is possible. In some economic news, on Monday the 1st, the government increased the minimum wage by only 10 cents per hour. In the last calculation, Poland's hourly payment reached $7. However, the executive also raised the electricity and gas prices. In a month, people will now pay $125 per megawatt hour instead of $103 for electricity starting in July. This applies to 90% of the population who do not exceed the threshold for consumption, which is 2 megawatt hours. People who consume more electricity or gas than the average will pay even more. On the same day, 14 climate activists from the Last Generation organization blocked the Wisłorada motorway in Warsaw to protest against Tusk's plans to build more highways in the country. The organization said the plan would harm nature, and instead of spending money on motorways, they demanded that the government transfer this money to fund public transport. They also demanded a nationwide, cheap monthly public transportation price so that people would use it more. In more disagreements with the government, on Thursday the 4th, the Polish media started a protest after the government and MPs ignored its demands. To comply with EU law, the parliament adopted a new copyright policy this week, but did not include the media's demands. The Polish media said that global tech giants steal their content and use it for their own profit. They added that advertising resources that have previously financed Polish media now finance foreign tech giants, and this money goes abroad, which negatively affects the country's economy and media. The media demanded protection against the copying of its content. Over 350 media outlets published a common protest note on the main page of their websites. The protest is called "Politicians Don't Kill Polish Media." Now people wonder how politicians will respond to this huge protest. Moving on Wednesday the 3rd, the Grupa Progress media outlet published a survey showing that 60% of the foreign residents in Poland experienced racist and xenophobic behavior from Poles this year. When asked about inappropriate and offensive behaviors, they said they received racist comments, which they heard in public places and also in the media. 50% of this group is considering leaving the country in the near future. On the same day, in another survey by CBOS, 45% of Poles were not satisfied with the developments in the country. The survey also pointed out that many citizens are hopeless about future developments in the country, as 24% of people think everything will go worse, while 32% say nothing will change. Interestingly, older people turned out to be more positive about current situations and the future. University graduates and residents of the largest cities also accompanied them, while rural residents, middle-aged people, and people with low education were more pessimistic. And to close this edition on Thursday the 27th, the Warsaw City Council came up with a new method to fight excessive summer heat. The city authorities placed sprinklers in various parts of the city for people to splash themselves with water. They have buttons that sprinkle for a few seconds and save water. The authorities said the number of sprinklers will increase in the next few days. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Hey, did you know that if you're listening to us on Spotify, you can leave comments or questions in the episode? Take a look at it. It's right there. The comments are private by default and we won't publish them, but feel free to share your email so we can contact you back. We might give you a shout-out in the next episode. Put something in there. Go crazy. We'd love to hear from you. Do zobaczenia!